Hello, boys and girls. This is Obi, aka 3X, and welcome to a very, very special edition of the weekly upload update. I guess we can call this number 16, or a special edition, or what have you. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but that's because it's been a while since I've did updates to any of my CAWS, and there are two in particular that I wanted to show off in this particular video. And we're going to kick things off here in grand fashion. It should not be any surprise to anybody who the first person I'm going to be showcasing here is. And that, of course, is an update to the king himself, Riot. And if you watched Ambition to the end, then you'll see that there was quite a very dramatic update to Riot that was made. Specifically the fact that, yes, he in fact does have a regular mask on here, but I kinda did a little bit of finagling with some face paint and so on. Reason being is that I really didn't want Riot to wrestle in a hoodie, and the Sin Cara mask is the only mask that completely obstructs the face. So I had to improvise in obstructing the face for this particular mask. This is the one that actually conceals most of the face, with the exception of the eyes and the mouth, of course. So in the mouth, I used one of the face masks. I think it's the doctor mask or something, to cover the lips. And then as far as the eyes go, you can pretty much see that his pupils are all black. And I gave him the Sting face paint, but just colored it red and black so they could outline and accent the eyelet areas of the Bane mask. And it has a very, very effective effect, yes, to it. Because from a distance it would look exactly as if the mask is by itself and you can't see his face, you can't see his eyes. So in game it has the exact effect that I wanted to have for Riot's mask that I couldn't pull off with the Sin Cara mask. So I'm pretty happy with that. The other addition is the fact that I gave him some additional ink on his left arm. It is a 3/4 arm sleeve. That's just a random design that I had used. Well, my brother actually uses it on one of his CAWS, but you know, you get a little bit of creative license when you're actually using the same designs on different body parts, so it's hardly noticeable in game. But if you take a closer look, it's still kind of very, very Riot-esque with the skulls and stuff like that, which has been always a staple of his design. Everything else is pretty much intact, and yeah, this is Riot as it is that I had wanted him to look from his look last year that I couldn't initially do. I just had to do a little bit of strategizing there to get this look here, and the results, as you can see, are pretty damn good. Now let's take a look at his alternate attire, and you can see that I went for the more Shield / Roman Reigns look for the second attire. Decided I wanted to go with a red and black accent on the vest, if you will, to go with the boots and the armband on his left hand. And if we take a look at the mask here, I actually used that gas mask type mask for the alternate. You can also see more prominently the red and black Sting face paint, or black and red I should say. The main thing I really wanted to pull off here was obstructing the actual face. Even though he actually does have a face texture underneath there, the whole point with Riot and his return here is the fact that this is him at his most, I guess you could say, evil and sinister and it's going to play off well when you see how the storyline that I have planned unfolds with him and Crossbones in black. But yeah, does that not look like the face of a very, very ominous human being who is capable of doing some very, very evil shit? That's exactly the kind of character that Riot is going to be, at least going forward, in his own special ways. And as far as the logos go, again, these are logos that I have carried over from the previous game. That's just a variation of his right arm attire, which is 3 crowned, or a series of crowned skulls, that being, you know, rival kings or false kings, if you will, that have all met their ultimate fate, with the message that they all fall, to imply the fact that there have been many kings in their day in the sport of professional wrestling, but there is only one true king that still stands, and that's the man that you see here in the mask. As we take a look at his pants, this is another design that I had used for a shirt from last year that I decided I wanted to convert onto the pants, just because I didn't want to have those all black everything. Yeah, I had to throw some kind of accent or design on the pants just to make him look a little less, you know, plain or black, normal type deal. You know, I had to go with something to match with the color going on in the top half of him, and I didn't want it to all be completely red and black. You know, I'm not entirely unoriginal as far as my color schemes go, okay? So, there you have it. And this version of Riot will be uploaded as you watch this video. He'll already be available, so you can update your roster with the brand new version. Moveset and everything is pretty much the same as it always has been. I just wanted to do a little more tweaking as far as his appearance goes, especially considering the fact that he's about to make a very, very, very large impact on the XWA without spoiling anything. The King is back, and he's going to be back in a very, very big way. And from a king, we turn our attention to a goddess, a golden goddess to be exact. Say hello to the updated attire version of Sarah Warfield, and some of the design elements you see here are pretty familiar. This, of course, is the variation of the Wonder Woman symbol that I have used as the logo for the upcoming Warfield Invitational. Obviously, I was going to use the same design on Sarah's attire itself. Now you can slightly see the Warfield font there on the sides of the top, which again, as you have probably figured out, is another example of a Photoshop style that was used on a font for that effect. And that is a really, really awesome effect, if I do say so myself. The logo is also on the trunks here, the Wonder Woman logo, and combination on the backside there, or backside that is. And then basically everything else is pretty much the same idea. I mean, I changed the top and the gloves and kind of kept it in the same color scheme of white with gold trim and a little bit of black accents, because you have that black kind of metallic accent going on with the Warfield logo, just to make things nice and uniform. Got the gold bands along the biceps. I also let her hair down. That was something that I carried over from the street clothes look from the special appearance at XWA Ambition. Normally I've had her hair up in buns and ponytails and stuff like that. Decided to make it a little more free-flowing, kind of reminiscent to her older looks back in the previous generations of the games. And yeah, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously not as much muscle tone as it is that she has normally had, that is mainly because of just the limitations of the core mode itself. Again, I'm going to get onto this freaking body morphing thing. Luckily, they have said that there are going to be more builds and more choices for ethnicities in 2K18, so I'm hoping upon all hope that that means that there will be more female body builds or body parts with more muscle definition to them, as in six-pack abs and more developed arms, legs, quads, biceps, that type of thing, so that you don't have to use textures in order to make your females look like they're more muscular or athletic. Keeping my fingers crossed on that one there. Anyway, down to the boots. Once again, the Wonder Woman / Warfield logo there. Completely golden boots that would actually be gold foil and not full metal, because those would kind of hurt. But yeah, once again, it's just for the effect. You just have to suspend a wee bit of disbelief there. And as we take a look at the full body here, basically really clean, streamlined, not too extravagant, but very athletic looking. And that was kind of the effect that I was going for with this updated version. I was thinking maybe to throw a few more elements on the tights, but I didn't want to take anything away from the Warfield logo. As I'm looking at it now, I might actually make that logo a little bigger or not, because I actually want the focus to be on the chest part with the logo and not necessarily the tights or trunks, if you will. You know, you don't want to use the same element too much in the same way. You got to kind of mix it up so it doesn't look like you're just slapping stuff on there. Anyway, let's take a look at the second attire, and you're really going to like the effect that I put on this one. This here took some real research to look for, but I knew it existed. I knew someone had to have done it, and sure enough, it's exactly what it is that I found, because that's exactly what it is that I did. I want you to take a closer look here on the bottom. But basically, yes, that is a version of the Superman insignia that has a W instead of the letter S in it. How freaking cool is that? I did research online, Google searching, and found a graphic artist that actually made a complete alphabet in the style of the Superman logo. So from A to Z, all in that same diamond type logo thing. And it had different effects to them. One was metallic, one had the traditional red and yellow scheme to it, and one had kind of a glow. I decided I wanted to keep it uniform and use the same style as it is with the font instead. And the end result is pretty freaking awesome, because now she's got not only the Wonder Woman logo, but a variation of the Superman logo still matching in the W of her last name, which is pretty cool. That is actually very epic, as a matter of fact, and I'm really happy I found that, because it just, one simple thing like that just kind of sets the attire completely off. Anyway, as you can see from the rest, I just kind of reversed things, put the Warfield font on the front of the tights as opposed to the Superman W logo, because I really wanted that to stand by itself. And everything else is just basically a color swap between the white and the black. The boots, black with the Superman logo on them. And yeah, I mean, aside from the Superman element, it's basically the same color swap that I usually do, with it being black and gold as opposed to it being white and gold. But it's just the freaking Superman logo that just really sets it off. It's amazing. I mean, I cannot stop talking about it, because it just is. It makes the attire that much more unique, and it really fits into her character so much, because she's kind of a superhero in a way. You know, she's the the matriarch, so to speak, of my entire female roster, which is exactly the reason why I hold her in such high regard. As you have seen on Ambition, in case you did not see, I actually threw up some old school footage of a collage that I had made of her. The very, very first year that I released her to the public on SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, all the way in 2006. It's been that long that I've been doing this. I'll have that on screen there for you. But yeah, she's come a long way, and she's gone through a lot of changes, and she will continue to go through a lot of changes going forward. And yes, just like Riot, I have some pretty big plans for her without giving anything away, even though you can probably take a wild guess exactly what it is that I'm talking about if you watch the Ambition and get right into the context of what it is that she was talking about. I hate to be predictable, but you know, sometimes you just have to set things in motion there. It's just a matter of how it is that I do it. But without saying anything further on that, same as Riot, she will also be uploaded and available. Not too much variation aside from attires, and I'm actually giving her a new entrance, so she's not using the Mr. Perfect entrance anymore. It just, I wanted to go with something that kind of fit her a little bit more than that. So attire change, entrance change, but the moveset is pretty much intact. And yeah, they will both be uploaded and ready for your gaming experience. Search tags, as always, are going to be 3X CAW, that is the number 3 followed by the letters XCAW or XWA. And that's pretty much it. Not too much here. Just two really major updates to pretty much the two most important CAWs that I make every single year. It's like 3X CAW number 1 and number 2, basically. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal to me here, and very much deserving of their own showcase, so to speak. So yeah, make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more updates, continued XWA shows. I've also got some tutorials lined up, some really cool stuff for you, especially if you're interested in starting your own CAWS shows for yourself on YouTube. That's going to be the focus there. So lots of stuff I have planned for you guys. Make sure you subscribe, and if you're subscribed, then make sure you hit that notification button, that being the bell right next to the subscribe button, so you will know exactly when it is that I release new content. And that will do it. Until the next time, folks, this is OB aka 3X signing off. See ya!